The game of life. Win or lose, what will you choose? Well, that depends on who you are and what you want. So the first step would really be discovering who am I and what do I want? Most people are running around thinking they want certain things, but they've just been programmed. We all have to believe we want certain things. It's a very rare person who knows who they truly are and what they actually want, not what other people want, not what the society wants, the culture wants, but what I want. Through meditation and deep intentional spiritual practices, we can get to the core of that question, who am I? And the truth can be a little shocking because that I isn't really real. It's relatively real. And in fact, most of us are walking around believing and acting out the programs and beliefs of other people. We're not actually following what we truly want, our natural bliss. So that would be the first step is figure out what you really want because you might be playing a game that you don't really want to be playing. Society, the world, the matrix puts out games for the masses, for most people to really just spend time and make money for others. Because everything in this world, this reality, is energy. So each of us is operating at a particular frequency, at a particular vibration. There are very low and dense vibrations, usually known as fear and scarcity and lack. And there are higher vibrations, love, compassion, altruism, right? When you can expand yourself to include others. So realize first, who am I? You have to know yourself, right? Know thyself. These are the most powerful words and the most powerful practice you can implement to actually win at life. I had to go through that process and realize I was in a game that I didn't really want to be. I thought I wanted it because that's what other people were doing. And that's because what was hip and cool at the time. But the more I dug within, the more I looked within, I realized that's not truly me. Realize that you are playing your own game. Society has games for the collective to play, and they get to set the metrics of what winning and losing truly is. Why is it that there are some very rich millionaires, billionaires who are winning on paper, but deep inside they're miserable, they're sad, and they're lonely? And why is it that there are some poor people on paper who are full of love, have family, have joy in their life? The inverse is also true. You have very rich people who are very fulfilled and joyful, and you have very poor people who are miserable. It has to do with frequency and the state of being that each of us is operating in. The frequency that you carry determines the thoughts you're having, which determine the identity that you embody. Realize and see for yourself through meditation that you are the observer behind your thoughts. If you sit and meditate and really focus on your breath and stay in your center, you will start to see thoughts circling around you. And the thoughts that are closest to you are the ones that you repeat every day. So the reason you're having similar experiences today than you did yesterday is because you're thinking the same thoughts. So if you want to change your experience, you have to change your thoughts. You have to change the state of being that you are occupying. think of it like clothes, right? You put on a certain shirt, you're occupying that shirt, and that gives you a certain frequency, a certain vibration, right? If you change that shirt, that's a completely different vibration. And you might want to change your clothes depending on where you are, who you're with, what you're doing. In that same way, we get to change the state we're in, right? Whenever we're feeling low, whenever we're feeling scarce with lack mentality, that keeps us very close and tight, right? When you see people who are very expansive, the illuminated ones, Yeshua, Buddha, right? These people who understand the truth of who they are, right? And they actually see through the game, right? That's when we call they transcend, where you get enlightened, where you see it's just a game, right? And that's the ultimate win, truly, because you realize that I don't need this game. You are here. You're just here. You are, right? Before we put I am to anything else, you just are. I am is the original state. So the true ultimate answer to the question, who am I, is I am. Realize we all use I am. And the moment you add something to that, you become that thing, right? I am sad. I'm just not like that, right? Or I am very rich and successful. You have to be confident in what you want and realize this is not about performing. We're not performing here, right? You're not trying to make this for somebody else. That's the old game. That's the old world, right? You're performing to put this image for society and for other people. No, we're done with that, right? The new earth is all about authenticity. You get to be who you are, who you want to be. We need to celebrate this awareness, this new frequency that we've stepped into. And because you're watching this video, you resonated with this, you are also on that frequency where you can now see your thoughts. You can see your life behind the matrix, behind the code. You realize you are the coder, you are the architect of your life. And the moment you turn on that switch, you realize you have that power. You realize that I am that I am. Everything changes and you get to design your life. You get to move through this life much more fluid, like water, moving to where you want because you have that power. I want to remind you of that power that you already possess. So, to win at life, get to know yourself. Who are you really? What you really want? Block out the world for a while, meditate, come back to your center and realize that your definition of winning will be different than the world's definition, especially if you're an empath, an intuitive soul, that you know you are here with a purpose, with a mission to share yourself, to be authentic, to show others a new way of moving forward so that we can create a new world of higher frequency where authenticity is the new currency and you get to be yourself and get paid for that and live well because of that. We are entering as a collective a new age, an age of frequency, of vibration. Like Tesla said, to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of frequency, rhythm, vibration. Everything is vibrating at a certain frequency. So win your game, unlock your potential, realize that you have the power. You just have to change those states of mind to get to where you want to be and win. Live freely. Don't compare. We're here to create. You're here to lead forward in the new earth, the new way. And for that, we need to be authentic. We need to be free from the shackles, the attachments of the old world, so that we can show the world what's possible in this new, beautiful earth era that we're living. win your game, free yourself, and live happy. Sending you so much love. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.